Hello again. Again, I'm doing a video on taking oral finals. Sadly, I did not record class today that talked about what to expect for that. So I'm just doing a kind of a general oral exam video, and I'll probably keep it for all of the future oral exams so that you can always come back to it and kind of get a feel for what they are. So an oral exam is a way that allows you to test um, kind of on the fly. You have to kind of answer these questions. You can use silence as you think, and they are. It's a different kind of test than you've ever taken before, unless you've taken an oral exam. What I want to go over is some of these experiences, or excuse me, these rules that we use to help us. We come prepared by dressing in your finest Sunday clothing and grooming standards. And one of the reasons why we do that, and there are studies out there that say that you do your very best when you are dressed well and that you look your best. Your thinking ability works better. That's why they ask people to wear business casual or business formal when they go to work. Of course, if you're a construction worker, you don't do that. But when you are in a business or when you are doing something like this, you will think better. They've just proven it. You will think better when you are wearing your very finest Sunday clothing. So that means either a white or colored button-down shirt, or a button shirt and a tie. You don't have to wear white because we're not passing the sacrament, but you can wear white if you'd like. And for girls, that is a Sunday dress, and sometimes even putting curls in your hair and making yourself look very groomed does help you think better, helps you do well. You're going to be grouped into groups of about 5 people, and you're required to stay in that group until your group is finished with their oral exams. And when you are not taking your exam, you're going to observe others and you're going to learn how they're answering. And as you observe, take notes for yourself. Decide on improvements as pertains to oral exams that you would like to make. In the past, I've had students do an evaluation. If you would like to, I'm not requiring it this time, if you would like to evaluate other students and email them and let them know how how well they did, you notice some things that maybe they could improve on, if you write it in a beautiful way, then you're welcome to do that. It's helpful. If you're the recipient of those papers of feedback, those lines of feedback, be generally grateful for them. Open your mind and look at them and see if they can help you. And if they can't help you, don't blame the person like Adam and Eve blamed each other for so long. Just be grateful that you had somebody that cared about you. So what is an oral exam? It's just that. You complete by answering questions orally. And it's one way to show how much you know and understand about a subject. This first semester oral exam is going to cover our first 4 months. And the second semester oral exam will cover the entire year study. So in May, you're not only going to talk about Dr. Faustus and Robinson Crusoe, but you're also going to need to remember something about Vasari and Galileo, and it just kind of helps us to retain some of the information in our minds. What is the purpose? What is the purpose for an oral exam? It's to give you a real-world skill of expressing material that you have learned into a relatively short, precise thought. and to think on your feet and to field searching questions. So you may get an answer, or excuse me, a question that you don't quite know how to answer, and you're going to field it. You're going to deal with it. You're going to think, and it's okay to be silent. Edie mentioned that today in class. It's okay to have that silence. If you are dealing with a blank mind, you are not alone. So many times this happens, but that's a real world skill to learn to deal with that. And sometimes I've had a blank mind so long that I have to say, my mind is blank, but I will tell you this. I will talk about something like this that I know and expound on that. And that's called deferring the question to another. And that's a good thing too. To be able to defer something is to help you get back on track and talk about something you do know about. Okay, so to have some of those prepared in your mind to be able to talk about when it's time. How these compare with written exams, I'm going to go ahead and read this. Oral exams may seem tougher than a written exam because you are forced right there on the spot to answer well. One student has written, you have to think on your feet. You have to synthesize. You have to be succinct, and you don't have the opportunity to write anything. Write something. Look at it or go back and fix it, twiddle with it here and there. And that is true. But the overall benefits are too numerous. I'm going to change that. Are too numerous to count. As you participate, you learn to accept that this is your chance to express, articulate, and opine on any subject for which you have prepared. How to prepare? Well, that's doing your daily assignments all year. If you haven't done really well this first semester, then great, you get to learn how important it would have been to do that. And then you just start doing a little bit better this semester. And that if you're learning that this year, and that's the greatest thing you've ever learned, I'm so thrilled. I'm so thrilled about that. But you do prepare well by doing your daily assignments and keeping your questions and your answers together in a Google Doc all year so you can use this to study. And I also gave you some study questions a month before the exam. Just study them. Get together with friends and family and have them administer questions to you. Get in a study group. All of those things help to prepare for an oral exam. How will it be graded? Well, you're going to be given 10 points for being well dressed, 30 points for how well you know the subjects of the few questions you'll get. By the way, it lasts about 15 minutes. And how well you think on your feet, 30 points. How well you can defer what you do not know and expound on what you do know, 15 points there. And how well you answer succinctly and concisely. That's 15 points. Now that is a hard one. And Lucy asked that question today in class, and it was a good question, because most of us kind of, when we have to opine on something or give our knowledge about something, we kind of start talking and we're not really getting to where we need to, but we keep going around in circles and coming back and trying to find the words that will really help us articulate. And maybe at the very end, we have gotten to where we need to be, or we've gotten to the end and the mentor may ask a clarifying question, and then that person's able to think a little differently after they've gotten all this out and they've taught themselves from what they've said. They now can get a succinct and concise answer. So that's another wonderful thing that an oral exam can do for you. Good luck. This is not going to be as hard as you think. It may feel that way, but just take this as a growing experience, as a little, you're climbing a mountain that in 100-degree weather and you gotta get to the top, and you just push yourself and just do it, and you may have some regrets, but that's okay. It's all the whole process that's the learning experience. And I think you'll really come out of it with a really good feeling. Even if you're not super prepared, you're still going to come out of it with a good feeling of learning something. Promise. Have a wonderful study and preparation for this, and we will see you when you get here.